Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning, where you get your morning Celtic news every morning from the original Celtic News channel. Anyway, there could be a few more players leaving after we brought in Nico yesterday. There could be a good few players leaving Celtic over the next 12 days or so. There is only about 12 days left of this transfer window. Let's all face it, we thought there'd be a bit more transfer activity than there already has been during this window. Celtic will consider offers for 4 of its players in this window. And we believe that's Yuki Kobayashi, Marco Tilio, who's expected to go out on loan, and we'll see how that one pans out. And then Gustav Lagerbielke, who was also signed in the summer, is amongst the players that are set to leave this transfer window. There is interest in Serie A for Gustav Lagerbielke. And then there's Bernabe. Bernabe, they want to let Bernabe go. Bernabe, who can't displace Greg Taylor. And we'll talk about a player that Celtic have been linked with that's 21-year-old that could be a replacement for Taylor. But let's not even. I don't buy this one. I don't seem to get it at all. But you never know. It's maybe just me. Anyway, McCarthy, James McCarthy, he was expected to leave last summer. Celtic were understood that they were trying to get rid of. They tried to get James McCarthy to take a wage cut to reduced what he was going to get paid out from Celtic, but McCarthy decided just to stay put, sit on his back end and enjoy the fruits of his labour at Celtic. The fruits of his labour at Celtic. I'll just say that. He's sat on his arse for 4 years. Anyway, Rogers said back in August, sadly for James McCarthy, a few injuries and niggles have curtailed his time here, so he'll be looking to move on. That was back in August. He's still here, and there's no sign of him leaving. And the one player that is getting a bit of attention is obviously the Rocco Vata situation. Rocco Vata has been linked with multiple Serie A clubs, including Bologna. And Vata could leave on a permanent fee as he's not signed that new contract at Celtic. Celtic need to get this one pushed through the door. I think leaving it to the last minute is a bit of a disappointment. If the lad wants to go, if he doesn't want to sign a new contract, you know, my worry is that we get to the end of the transfer window and he goes, nah, bugger it, I'm just going to hang around to the summer, and then I'll have my own pick of choice of clubs that I can then go to without Celtic getting a fee, which is a bit of a, I don't know. Anyway, we move on from that. Kobayashi and Tilio, they've just been fringe players at the club. There are reports suggesting that loan moves for both players will be considered by Celtic. Kobayashi joined Celtic last January. Yes, and Ange Postecoglou won on a 5-year deal. It's okay bringing these players in on big deals like that, but when you're trying to get rid of them, it's we're going to have to take a hit or a miss. Anyway, Marco Tilio, he's back in Australia. Well, not in Australia, but he's playing in the Asia Cup. He's only played twice for Celtic, and he said that he's keen on more game time. He thinks that he should be playing more. Considering he came to Celtic when he was injured, I think it's a bit harsh that he has this. It's just the Australian in him, isn't it? It's just the Australian in him. My family's got relatives in Australia, and it's just the way they are. They think they should be there and thereabout. Anyway, Swedish centre back Gustav Lagerbielke, who signed from Elfsborg for 3 million, is on a wanted list. It looks like he could be going out on loan. The under 21 winger Vata, there are a few players looking at him. So we'll see what transpires over the next week or so. Celtic have also been looking to bring in a left back. Now, there has been a lot of clambering and a lot of speculation saying that Celtic want to bring in the Owen Beck from Liverpool. And that's only going to be on a loan. What does that say to Greg Taylor? What does it say to Bernabe if we're going to go and bring in a 21-year-old from Liverpool on loan? What does it say? I'm always going to go back to it. What does it say to the 21-year-olds that are at Celtic that are coming through the system? They're obviously not good enough. So what is going on with the B team? What is the whole point of the B team? Because if the B team are playing in this lower league and it's not sufficient for Celtic to think that these players can then move up the level to the first team, you know, we're then putting the young boys out on loan that are coming through the system, and then we're going out and loaning in 21-year-olds. It's just madness at Celtic. There's something going on in the background of Celtic that I think the direction of the club, you've got to think back. Think back to when Ange Postecoglou came into the club, and him and Don Mackay sat, and it was like a bold new future for Celtic. A bold new future for Celtic. We're going to change the club. We're going to move in this new direction. And, well, they're both not here now, are they? They're both not here, and that's the irony of it. Is it Nah, it's a different video. It's a different video. Could have a right moan about that. We're going to be back with the lives tonight, 6 o'clock. Celtic part time. We will be back with the lives tonight. We'll have a good moan about everything Celtic, and we'll talk about the ups and downs of the transfer window. It is to the later end of the transfer window. I have stayed away from the lives. I'm going to do a different format with the lives because let's face it, all the Celtic channels are looking the exact same out there. And they've all got the same live format, the same setup, and the same software. So I'm going to do things a little bit different from now on. You need to stand out from the crowd, as they say. Anyway, tell me what you think about the Owen Beck story. Do you really think that that's a story that it's a player that we should be going after, especially if it's just a loan? I'm not too sure about it. Anyway, TalkSport pundit Simon Jordan has called on the SPFL to get involved in the away ticket dispute between Celtic and Rangers. And he's calling the current situation appalling. Well, Simon Jordan, who is one of them who backs them to the hilt, he needs to realise that it was the club that he likes and supports. It was their fault back in 2018 that they took away the big allocator. We're repeating ourselves. Let's not try and change history and blame Celtic for, no, they never give us tickets. This has been rumbling since 2018. However, there was no away fans for the last couple of games. You know, a lot of Celtic fans are saying, good, keep them out. We don't need their nonsense in the ground. But when you look at the bigger picture, it has made the game pretty weak. As a spectator event, looking at it, playing devil's advocate here, taking away the sectarianism and the bile that goes along with the game in total, you know, that excitement that you get the week before the game, you know, that gut-wrenching stomach feeling that you get the morning that you wake up and you're going to, especially if it's an away game, if you're going to Ibrox and you're like, you hate the place with a vengeance, but there's nothing better than going to the away grounds and absolutely getting one over them and being there with the players and enjoying it and watching them walk out early. And they probably say the same thing, you know. So people saying that no, keep it at 750 it's just nonsense. And the SPFL were trying to bring in a thing where it would maybe go up to 1,500. How that's going to be policed and how that's going to be held on the ground, who knows. Anyway, we move on from that. January activity. Celtic it's been suggested that Celtic are going to go for another South Korean player, a midfield player. Anyway, I think I'll just miss that one out. We can talk about it on the live. Is another South Korean player exactly what we need, and especially going into Europe? Anyway, we'll end it on Celtic and another kit. Yes, another kit at Celtic. Another strip. Another strip launch that looks like it's coming out next year, next season, and it's pink. It's pink and it's pink. It's really pink. I'll just put a picture up now. It has been suggested that this strip will be unleashed on Celtic fans next year. It seems to follow the trend by other European clubs, sort of like Real Madrid, Juventus, Porto have all had sort of pink strips as a third strip. Well, the kits are generally Celtic fans always buy kits, you know, and I think that they're trying to just get into the sort of female market with this one. Oh, you never know. You never know. Anyway, tell me what you think about the third kit that's been suggested that might come out next season. Another one. Don't you just feel like they're milking it now? Remember the good old days when they would bring out an away strip one season and then the next season they would bring out a home strip. It'd be good to go back to that, I think. Anyway, Gustav Lagerbielke out the door. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about the young one, Ben Doak from... not Ben Doak. We got rid of him. Jesus. It's not Ben Doak at all, Barry. It's Owen Beck. It's Owen Beck. Yeah, we let Ben Doak go to Liverpool for nothing, and then we're going to take one of theirs on loan. It's madness. Don't know what's going on at Celtic just now. Anyway, on that note, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I shall see you on the live tonight, 6 o'clock Celtic part-time. Yes, we are back live. We're starting doing the lives again, as there is football this weekend. Bring on the Bucky Thistle.